2024 end of year recap, take 1. How would you sum up 2024?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Are we talking truthfully?
Absolute mayhem.
Probably the highest of highs and lowest of lows.
Are you kidding? I was on a roll. I was doing so good. You were recording.
I didn't see the red one on. I'm like, that's weird.
I mean, I think I definitely got everything I was talking about on that couch when we were looking at what my plan was, and that was more power, stronger field, bigger stage. And so, not in the way I expected it, driving in America on dirt, but I definitely think it covered all the bases of what I was looking for when it came to the next step.
Got Ellis sitting there, who's never driven dirt, super successful in circuit racing. You'd be crazy. You just came in third overall in a touring car championship. You were third overall in the Fiesta touring car championship, top 3 in an F4 series. So like, now you're going to the dirt. You know, why would you give that up? Or take a risk? And then like Ellis was like, my name is Renegade. Like, playing this safe isn't necessarily, you know, what I want.
Not only have I not repeated the same car 2 years in a row, I've only repeated the same like style twice. And that was, I spent 2 years in touring cars, one in a Fiesta, one in a Mini. And then I spent 2 years in karting, but that first year in karting, I had never driven anything on track professionally before, so it doesn't really count. So I really only got to repeat once, and the time I did, I almost won the championship. So I think it's definitely tricky to go into new disciplines with, you know, not only just a new type of car, but a whole new style.
And so we started 2024 with the intention of yet again trying something new. That led to an RX2E test in February for Valentine's Day in Spain, to which he said, look, I can't give anybody an answer about nitrocross and rallycross in general until I get in this car. And I think he was about, 2 turns in on the first session, and he was like, yeah, I'm good to go.
This person, this renegade, this driver is learning on race weekends. This guy is literally learning in front of an audience. Not only in front of an audience, in front of his childhood heroes. He's got to step in that car and learn how to be the driver. That's his practice. And then he goes and performs like an animal.
You know, I think if we proved anything, it's that it doesn't matter what I drive, that I don't think it was exclusive to electric, the fact that I can jump in anything and fight for podiums.
Age of Light Tour 2024. All the action. Watch it get taken away.
We've met disappointment every single season that we've been in this game.
I don't really think I have a lot of time to be sad about many things in my life. I think I just sort of keep going.
So, I think things not going to plan is the plan for someone like Ellis. But nitrocross and what it represented, it was like it was gonna allow the best version that there is of Ellis. And he knew it.
I mean, obviously nitrocross had a lot of fun parts, which was fan zone, fan interaction. There was, pretty packed weekends. First time we've been with a series that needs to sell tickets. And so it was super cool to have that experience, a lot of media content, got to do some ride-alongs, and so it was a super special experience to get what a proper race weekend should feel like.
The loss of nitrocross as a purpose-built container to hold the energy brand and future that is Ellis. We went from having this 3-year trajectory that ticked every box we could have ever imagined to the whole thing falling apart, and now it doesn't exist and there's nothing else to replace it.
But I definitely think it's going to be impossible to find a replacement that'll be able to give the same stuff that Nitro was going to give. So
we are always the bearer of this news to Ellis. Michelle especially is the okay, So we know we had this here, and now we don't. What new version of Hopium can I piece together?
If the series was gonna go to shit, I might as well have enjoyed, you know, being with some of my all-time childhood heroes, so.
I don't have any regret on what we chose to do.
Ooh, yeehaw! Wow, coming home to the United States, was I ready? It's like the 90s, maybe 80s movies when they go train, the montage. Like his European 4 years will be a montage, right? It'll be short, it'll be 2 minutes, it'll be everything he did to show up to be an absolute beast on the track. So I think the hope was and is that coming to America is going to create a new platform for that. And it just, it's taken a bumpy road. It's not an easy one to get here at this point. It's kind of, we're on a lot of turbulence right now.
My fear is that the business of motorsport and what this is will change Ellis as a person. And I don't think it's changed Ellis. I think Ellis has just become more and more himself. This year, I think, changed us.
Okay, do you want me to go there? I'm disillusioned with the sport.
Obviously, when you're passionate about something, it's something you want to do, but it doesn't mean that the sort of starry eyes about it stay forever. I mean, I love driving. I just think definitely the vibe of everything other than getting on track has definitely been a bit disenchanted for the past 3 years.
You know, and all these questions immediately started coming up. Are you giving up what it means to be a champion? You know, are you leaving Europe where the pinnacle of racing is happening? Is this too much fun and not enough serious competitiveness?
It's definitely changed on what I think it means to be successful. I definitely think it means more of just, you know, an audience and building that rather than winning championships.
And I posed the question to Frank, which has been, I would say, my biggest demon is like, Frank and I have had a lot of almosts. And Ellis doesn't deserve to be an almost.
As a parent of a talented driver, fear the almost, right? Is Ellis gonna wake up someday and be like, back in my day, I drove electric before anyone else, and I was really good. You know, it's like the quarterback at the high school reunion that got injured.
So all these things are at odds with each other, right? Because it's like, right, I'm asking those questions of myself and of my family and of my child in a flawed system, because the system is not real, because it's not based on his talent, his ability, his drive, his motivation. It's not built on any of those. It's not predicated on any of those things. It's predicated on, do you have the money and are you willing to part with that money for this said series? So that's an even bigger existential conversation of wait a minute.
I think it just changes that, you know, results are great, but a fan base and things like that will keep longevity. Usually the high of a championship ends when the next year starts, so I'd rather build something that's gonna live forever, whether it's through a fan base and content or things like that. So gives you more leeway as well. It's less, we won't put all our eggs in one basket again. We'll be able to bounce around when we need to, and I think that's important.
He loves this sport and he loves cars with a passion that you can't out-hustle, you can't outthink. You will never ever match his level of intensity when it comes to motorsport. And if his goal is to not only be in the sport, but share that passion and excitement with fans and friends and family and schools and people in the metaverse, then that's the recipe for him. Not, I'm gonna be an F1 driver, I'm gonna be an Indy driver. Okay, you know, he doesn't look at being defined by a series. "2025 predictions." That's always fun.
I'm not counting anything out. I could drive an 800 horsepower Trans Am car 180 miles down the straight at Sebring. I could be in a Pro 4 off-road truck starting, 30 wide. Or I could show up to Coda on my bike and end up in some sort of whatever. So I think there's definitely potential for literally anything, 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 3 wheels, doesn't matter. Whatever I find, I'm gonna be competitive at.
Don't count out those Baja bugs.
No.
It's almost like the blind faith and naivete that we had in 2020 that gave us the bravery or the absolute stupidity to sell everything we owned and get on a plane and go to Europe in the middle of COVID to be racing driver family. Like the same energy and circumstance that took, like I have to say to myself, maybe all of what this was with Nitrocross was like just enough of a carrot on a stick to get us back to the United States. And even though it's gone now, like maybe it was just enough to put us in place for whatever the hell is about to happen next.
Push people into a sport and keep them in it is to, you know, sell them on the dream. And I think Ellis is a little disenchanted with that dream at the moment. And now he just is going to go back to what makes him happy, which is driving. And that's what he always says.
I think in 2025, I need some solo time to just, you know, go and do whatever, whether it's riding a motorcycle, karting, solo trips, anywhere. I definitely think I need some off the grid time.
What I need is to remind myself, I'm looking at you, camera. I love that camera. I love that lens. I don't love racing. I love Ellis. I am a fan of Ellis. I got into this 4 years ago because I believe in Ellis. So I think this is my year of just reigniting that feeling of like belief in who he is and what we are as a team and how we can, you know, give back when we go out into the world. We're not taking. There is no better feeling than watching this kid race. Nothing on the planet will beat standing there, watching him come around and just do what he does.
Watch him drive. I can't even explain what I'm seeing of how he's able to do it and the like energy it brings to him. Like he's so, that's his element and it's absolutely undeniable.
You know, grandfather used to say it, and it's like there is no better thrill than watching him do what he does. It's my favorite thing.